What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me here again for another movie reaction today. Today I'm going to be checking out Snowpiercer for the first time, which I'm excited for because I know that it's by the same director who did Parasite, which came out last year, which obviously great movie, great plot, lots of twists and turns, so I expect this one to give me an enjoyable experience as well. Don't really know much about it, as with most of the movies on the channel. Usually if I haven't seen a movie, I try and avoid any sort of information about it so that when I go in to watch it, it's just a fresh experience for me. Everything is kind of surprising and an unfolding mystery, which I like, and so I'm excited to get into this, see what kind of story we got in store. But of course, this is a poll winner, as always, from my Patreon. If you'd like to participate in the polls that help me decide what I watch or react to in the future, or if you'd like to watch along with me for the entire movie, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find all that. And if you're new to the channel, I do movie and TV show reactions several times a week, and so if you enjoy that sort of thing, definitely consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you can know when I upload my next videos. But I appreciate all your support as always. I'm looking forward to interacting with you in the comments of this one, and without further ado, let's just get straight into Snowpiercer.
According to scientists, the artificial cooling substance CW7 will succeed in bringing average global temperatures down to manageable levels.
Interesting, so they just tried to make the entire world cold. Oh, jeez. Dang, so that experiment did not go very well, or as planned. Love me some post-apocalyptic type premises.
Those bastards in the front section think they own us. Eating their steak dinners and listening to string quartets and that.
We'll be different when we get there.
That's kind of fascinating that even in a very post-apocalyptic situation, and with I'm assuming so little survivors, there's still a class system.
I will give you this one and that one for that one. What do you say?
No.
My man knows how to drive the price up. Gotta make him want it. This is excellent set design, though.
Why did you let him get up there?
Very unique. I like the claustrophobic feeling.
Curtis, is it time?
Not yet, Tanya. Soon.
So I'm guessing that Chris Evans is leading a breakout, but I mean, if it's just a wasteland out there, it might be pretty difficult to survive if you break out, unless they're just trying to like take over the train or something.
We control the engine, we control the world. Without that, we have nothing. All past revolutions have failed because they couldn't take the engine.
What you say?
This time we take the engine.
This is a fantastic premise. I don't know if I've seen anything quite like this. I don't know if the whole movie is going to take place on the train, but it's a very unique situation to have the entire world based in just a linear train like that. Interesting. Dude has good aim. That's terrible, man. They're stealing their kids from him. Well, I don't exactly know what they're doing, but based off the reaction, it would seem that they're stealing the kids.
At this altitude, we need only 7 minutes.
Wait, are they gonna do what I think they're gonna do? Jeez, the uniqueness of the premise produces some very unique forms of torture.
This is disorder. We must each of us occupy our preordained particular position.
It's an effective way of showing their power over them, but also an effective way of showing the conditions outside.
Mr. Wilfred? Are you there? Oh, it's breaking up. Oh well. Mr. Wilfred's a very busy man.
I like that little tease, but they still keep us in suspense of who it is. It's clever. Oh my gosh, dude. Are they just gonna smash it and shatter it? That's horrific, man. I've never seen a sequence like that before. Just the method of torture is so different. Those are definitely some nasty people in charge. It's amazing that no matter what sort of world conditions that we're living in, there's always people who will take advantage of other people.
You remember what Mason said? She said, put down that useless gun. I think the guns are literally useless. They used up all their bullets 4 years ago in the last revolt.
This is one perceptive guy.
They've got no bullets!
Nice! Oh, that dude has nerves of steel going up to him like that. Well, they've been successful so far. I don't think that could have gone better than how it did.
Chrono head.
So what is Chrono?
So this is Chrono. I hear it's pretty big in the front section.
Careful, that's how these guys hallucinate.
Oh, post-apocalyptic drug.
Uncut. Straight from the barrel. Every door you open, you get 1 lump of chrono.
Seems like a good deal if he's really into that stuff.
John, get out of here. Let's get out. Hey.
Oh, is this like his wife? This is such a creepy prison. I mean, it makes sense because of the train. You gotta fit stuff in a very narrow hallway. This is so interesting. I really like it so far. These guys probably haven't seen sunlight in forever. Just all in a ruin, jeez.
Dad. Oh, Dad.
With this being one of Joon-ho's earlier films, I wonder what the budget was like for it, because even Parasite I don't think had a very big budget. Ugh. That's what they've been eating? Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that's so gross now looking at that. It's cool that even something so simple as the protein bars that had only appeared in a couple scenes was used for a cool twist like that. That's some good writing right there.
Are you clairvoyant?
What's that?
Well, you always seem to know what's behind the gates. Do you see things in your mind?
Who the heck are these guys? What the heck are those masks? It's gotta be impossible to see out of those. There's no way you can take them on. You guys don't have any weapons. Shoot, they are fighting him. The way this is set up, being in the train, makes for a very different fight type of experience because everything is forced to be so linear. The scene is filmed in such a different way than I would expect, with like the not random necessarily, but just the ways in which it's filmed in kind of intermittent slow motion, and the music having a tinge of happiness to it almost. It's not like really intense music or anything. Jeez, dude, that thing flips and humanity is done for.
You people who have suckled the generous titty of Wilfred ever since, for food and shelter.
Not much of food, knowing now what we know.
This is going to be good.
I still don't know how these guys can see. Now this is dope. This definitely has no shortage of unique set pieces, I'll give it that. Oh, fetch, man, they're slaughtering him right now. Oh, that's some sick lighting right there, man.
John, get out. Let's get out.
Shan! We need fire! Shan! Bring the fire!
Yes, dude. Another good example of a little scene earlier coming into play more later. Some great writing.
Oh, no! What are you doing? Don't look at me, you dopey bugger! Look there!
Tilda Swinton plays a weird character in this one. I mean, I'm really only familiar with her from Doctor Strange. Not sure what else I've seen her in, but definitely a very different personality in this. That guy just looks like a bigger, buffer Leonardo DiCaprio. His face looks a little bit similar to his. Dang, dude. He's got to protect the mission. Shoot, dude, his right-hand man's gone down. Gave his life for the mission. Died a noble death, that's for sure.
Have you seen these kids?
Wilfred likes kids. It's Wilfred you want, not me.
Wilfred likes kids.
Oh, she's so strange in this movie. I'm sure her acting is intentional direction and things like that, but I don't know. I just find it a little bit too weird and out there for myself. A little too contrasty to feel like it belongs in this. I don't know. That's just my opinion at this point in the movie.
Stop it, Curtis. You know very well that you're already our leader. You have to accept that now.
He's done a good job leading them so far. Doesn't make any sense why he shouldn't be the leader.
When you get to the narrow bridge, big gate with a W on it, Wilfred's behind that. Don't let Wilfred talk. Cut out his tongue.
This guy's all in for the killing of Wilfred. I love that she's got the shoe on her head now. That's fantastic.
Hey.
Goodness, man, a completely different environment. The change is so stark. If the train was like this for everybody, this wouldn't be the worst lifestyle.
You people are very lucky. This is only served twice in a year, in January and July.
Sushi only twice a year is a travesty. And that's crazy how this is just basically a 5-star living experience up here. And it just drops straight from 5 stars to 0-star living experience. There's no in between. It's just the absolute best living conditions for a train, the absolute worst living conditions.
As hard as it is to believe, people in the old world made fun of Mr. Wilfred.
Old world people were frigging morons who got turned into popsicles.
Don't like that girl one bit.
So what did the prophetic Mr. Wilfred invent to protect the chosen from that calamity?
The way that they talk about the engine makes it seem like it's some sort of deity. At first I was like, oh, it's just a normal engine, but now I'm getting the feeling that there's something weird about it.
Oh, I love that one.
After the first little bit, I thought this was going to be like a thriller drama type story, but the farther it goes on, it feels like it's just some sort of dark comedy with the acting and the dialogue and everything. It gives off that vibe.
No, thank you very much.
Anytime a movie's like, hey, we need a skinny bald guy, they always cast that actor.
This.
Oh, dude. Shoot, man, that got me. I was not ready for that. Oh, nice throw. Dang, dude. Gotta stick to the mission, though. No matter what the cost, at this point, you're too far into it.
Listen to my words, it wasn't me.
Just executed her right there. I mean, clearly she was not motivated to help them. After killing the old guy, this dude is definitely locked in. Geez, this is high standard even for normal life living before an apocalypse. That's such a unique fight. I like that. That's very cool. This is some legit lighting in this room. I like that every part of the train so far has had a very unique, very cool style. Freak, he got him. He killed her just like that. Oh, what a sacrifice to save him. Jeez, dude. I feel like this is a very realistic fight sequence. No music. It isn't like a flawlessly choreographed scene or anything like that. People are kind of struggling a little bit to fight. I'm not gonna miss this guy, that's for sure. One more idiot out of the way.
We're gonna find him. I promise.
Shoot, man, that's sad. I'm glad that they at least gave a little bit of a moment with her. I thought she had just died just like that when he shot her earlier. Jeez, these people got a freaking club too. The people at the back of the train get like one car. The people at the front get like 500 cars. I feel like the lighting has definitely stepped up once they got to the front section. Obviously, I'm sure that's intentional to show the difference in quality of life and quality of the train cards. That's crazy that it's only down to the 3 of them now after what they started with.
Open the door.
Crazy that after all they've been through, all this guy still cares about is just some more drugs. Terrible mindset to be in.
Do you have any idea what went on back there? Wilford soldiers came and they took everything. It's 1,000 people in an iron box. No food, no water. After a month, we ate the week.
That's horrible. I can't imagine being in a situation where you have to become cannibals to survive. That's awful.
I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best.
Oh, that's disgusting, man. What a horrendous situation.
There was a woman. She was hiding with her baby, and some men with knives came. They killed her and they took her baby. And then an old man stepped forward and he said, "Give me the knife." And he cut off his arm. And he said, "Eat this. Leave the baby." Probably guessed who that old man was.
Oh, shoot.
That baby was Edgar. And I was the man with the knife.
Whoa. Makes sense why he was so against Edgar looking up to him earlier. That's so dark though, man. What a horrible situation. I mean, I like the dialogue and the backstory. Definitely adds a whole lot to the significance of things that have been going on. So I appreciate this moment a lot.
18 years I've waited for this moment. Open the gate. Please.
Love it. That's some great acting by Chris Evans. He still doesn't? Don't you dare say drugs. You're just gonna die. If the entire world's dead, there's no way that you are surviving. So that's why. What a genius, dude. That's an incredible twist. Bro, that whole scene from his story to the revelation of the bomb, that was a great scene.
You are the first human being to have walked the total length of this train, tail to engine.
This guy. The actor's name escapes me, but I do recognize him.
We must always strive for balance. The air, water, food supply, the population must always be kept in balance.
Such an awful mindset to have.
Who could have predicted your counterattack with the torch in the Yekaterina tunnel? That wasn't what Gilliam and I had in our plan.
What?
No, don't tell me you didn't know. Gilliam and I, our plan. He was, more than a partner, really.
Here are those twists that I was ready for. Or expecting, at least. That's insane, man. I can't believe it was just an elaborate plot from him from the beginning.
I'll miss our late night phone chats. Oh, he could go on for hours. All with only one arm.
Dang it, man. He was a snake. Betrayed everybody. I'm sorry, what? How is this guy alive?
She's waking up now.
So maybe I wasn't incorrect in thinking there's something more to the engine than just being a piece of machinery.
I want you to take my station. It's what you always wanted. It's what Gilliam wanted too.
What?
Section after section, precisely where they've always been and where they'll always be.
Man, surely after everything, he's not gonna give in to the same method of madness as this guy.
The space only allows for a very small person. Thank goodness the tail section manufactures a steady supply of kids.
Gosh, man, that's so evil. Yes, dude. Thank you, man. Just needed that extra little push of dark revelations to change his mind.
You know everyone has their own preordained position.
Oh, that's what the hand movements are about. Very interesting indeed. So does that mean Tilda Swinton's character used to be one of the kids that did that?
Nice.
That was in a way bigger explosion than I expected it to be. Shoot. That's a cool shot right there. Oh. Literally everybody on the train's murdered. I mean, because certainly there's no way people that fell down that cliff from the avalanche are alive after that. So is Curtis dead? And it's just the girl and the boy? Well, she's not dying. Well, it seems like you can still survive walking around out there. The question isn't about surviving, though, at that point. Then it just becomes, how do you stay alive? How do you get food and all that? A polar bear. Guess that answers the food question. So not all life is gone then. Very interesting ending. Very unexpected, that's for sure. Especially with them killing off the main character like that at the last moment. Yeah, I guess are they the only two living people left then? Just the two of them? They just basically have to start a civilization on their own? Not sure what age the boy is, but I mean, I assume they have to wait a few years before they can start restarting the population. I'm sure everyone else probably died, right? From the crash? But maybe not. Maybe they were just the first ones out of the train at that point. But definitely some interesting things to talk about. I definitely was hyped once we started getting to those twists that I was kind of expecting from a Bong Joon-ho movie after having seen Parasite. So that was fun. Definitely enjoyed the kind of last third to a quarter of the movie when all those revelations started to happen. So this was definitely one of the more unique and different movies that I've seen recently, especially for the channel. There were so many cool set pieces and plot lines that I hadn't really seen done before. And so I really liked that aspect. As far as the things that I enjoyed most about the movie, I think the set design and set pieces were some of my favorite parts of the movie, and some of my favorite set pieces that I've seen in a movie. Just very unique and cool, and it really added some tension to scenes, whether it's the narrowness of some of the corridors where they're having fights and things like that just kind of add a claustrophobic feeling, or the lighting that just kind of add this eerie vibe, like the sauna room part of the train. I thought there was so much cool design and uniqueness to each part of the train. It feels like each section is almost like its own different world, and so I really liked that part about it. I thought the design, I don't know if all the vision for that was from the director or if it was a little bit of collaboration with whoever was in charge of the set design and the set dressing, but it all looked really, really cool. I loved that aspect, and it really felt like they had put you in this weird otherworldly situation, even though it was with humans on Earth. It just happens to be in a train. And I thought it was very cool that the entire movie up until the very, very last scene took place in a train, and so I thought that was very unique. I don't know if I've seen that before. Obviously they're moving throughout a very long train, and so they're getting to all these kind of different environments within that train, but it all takes place on that one thing, which I've seen movies that majority take place on a train, but I don't know if I've ever seen one quite like that where the entire movie from start to basically finish take place on a train. So I really admired that unique storytelling. Definitely provides you with an experience that you wouldn't often get, and so I really liked that. I know I already kind of mentioned it when I was talking about the different kind of train cars, different train areas, but I really liked the lighting of the movie. I thought, especially once they get out of kind of the rear of the train and start moving into the more wealthy areas of the train, the lighting really steps up, and there's some super cool sequences. I loved, obviously, the sauna room I mentioned, but I also really loved the fight when they go across the bridge first and then they go through the tunnel, and obviously there's darkness for a lot of it and you kind of see the night vision goggle view, but I also really loved the part of that sequence where they kind of just pass a couple of windows or just a couple of bright patches, and the light just kind of skips through the train and you kind of get glimpses of what's going on. I thought that was a really, really well done sequence and very intense. The story overall, I really liked once we got to kind of the second half, got through the end. Not to say I didn't enjoy the first half, I did, but I felt like once we started getting some reveals and some twists by the end, definitely enhanced what I'd already seen and made me even more excited for the end and to see how it all ties together and all wraps up. So I thought the story was very well written. Great job from I'm afraid to say his name because I fear that I'm mispronouncing it every time I say it, but well done by the director. He did a great job with the script. I saw that the screenplay was by him, and someone else who I forgot their name, but they both did a great job in writing a very engaging story, very unique, and a lot of twists and turns there at the end, a lot of cool reveals. I mentioned a couple times while I was watching how I liked there was just little things that they teased early on in the movie, but that came into play later. And I feel like they really paid off everything that we saw. The only thing that I don't really feel like they paid off fully or answered, maybe they did answer it, but I didn't grasp it in the moment. But Curtis was talking to the main female character who survives at the end, and how she could predict what was on the other side of the door, things like that. And he's like, "Oh, how do you know that? Are you clairvoyant?" But it never really answers that, I feel like, because I feel like they didn't talk about it again. But if they did, or if you guys know the answer to that, definitely let me know, because I'm interested to see if there is an answer to that, or if it's just something that he chose not to answer. And I thought Chris Evans did a great job as the lead actor. I thought he gave a great performance. I feel like his attitude in this is very similar to how he played Captain America. Like, I could definitely feel that I'm watching the same actor, and so it wasn't necessarily a different element for him, but I thought he still gave a great performance. Thought Ed Harris was great at the end, at being introduced as Wilford. And as far as the other actors, I'm not on like a name by name basis with all of them, but I thought most people did a pretty good job. There was one or a couple actors that I wasn't the biggest fan of their performance. Tilda Swinton, I don't have a problem with her as an actress just based off some of the things I've seen her in. This one, her acting didn't really vibe well with me. I'm not sure if she is well received in this movie, but I thought her acting, while it was definitely different from everybody else, I felt it was a little too contrasty with the mood and kind of the setting of the film. It just felt really out of place for me personally. It kind of bugged me a little bit. That's just my opinion of it. If you enjoyed her acting, that's no issues with me. For me, it didn't really work super well. And I don't know who the other two actors that I kind of felt weren't as good as everyone, and this might have just had to do with the budget because I didn't recognize them at all. So maybe they just couldn't afford at that point to hire different actors or more recognizable. But the guy who was kind of following him around for a lot and has the fight with them in the sauna scene and then kind of comes back at the very end as well, his acting just felt a little bit robotic to me. I don't know if that was intentional, but I didn't really feel anything for him as a villain. He was just kind of there just as a nameless henchman, and so I didn't really feel any weight around his character or anything like that. And so I didn't feel like he was a very good piece in the film per se. He definitely helped certain scenes move along and he helped progress the story, but I wasn't a huge fan of his. And then the other one was the actress who played, I don't know, Ed Harris's right-hand man, Wilford's right-hand woman, I guess I should say, at the end. Her acting just felt a little bit stale for me. Her delivery I didn't feel like was very good or anything like that. And these are just me listing off things that I didn't like about certain actors just off the top of my head. Like I said before, I enjoyed most of the acting overall. Those are just the only ones that stood out to me. Felt like I should mention those. But everything else, all the other actors and stuff, I felt did a very good job. The only other thing that I could say maybe I had any sort of issue with is at times it felt a little tonally inconsistent. Like I mentioned at some point in the film, don't know if I included it in the YouTube edit, but I felt like at times I thought that it was trying to be a dark comedy. At times it felt like a dark thriller. Besides those things, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very different, very unique. Couple cool twists thrown in there that took me off guard. And just a very different experience for me, which I always appreciate movies that give me an experience that I haven't had before or show me things that I feel like I haven't seen before. Even if a movie is bad, which this is not, I still will find joy having watched it if it gives me something new and fresh. And this movie gave me something new and fresh and was a good movie on top of that. So I appreciated that a lot. And I'm definitely, after having seen this and Parasite, not sure if I've seen any other of this director's movies, but after those two, definitely intrigued to see what he does in the future, because he's definitely very talented, especially as a writer, and so I'm certain that he's going to have lots more good things coming in the future, so I'll definitely keep my eye on him. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. Definitely helps the video reach more people, helps the channel grow, and so I appreciate all of your support in that area and look forward to interacting with you in the comments. If you have any additional insights about the movie or maybe any metaphors or things like that, definitely let me know. Always love reading your comments that give me kind of more information about the movie, about any sort of information behind the scenes, things like that. Definitely helps me gain greater appreciation for the things that I watch. So definitely look forward to those. And again, if you'd like to watch along with me for the entire movie, definitely consider checking out the Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find that. But until the next video, I will see you all later. Peace.